Okay, hello. We are making easy gingerbread cutouts today. I did these over Christmas and they turned out pretty good, so I'm gonna make them for you and show you an easy way to do gingerbread cutouts that are pretty quick. They only make about 15 cookies or so you don't have to spend your whole entire day baking. So here we go. The coolest thing about this, I wasn't sure that this was gonna work. That's why I did them first before making them on a video. I am using a spice cake. So I just grabbed any spice cake. This one works really well. It is the super moist spice cake. So you put a box cake mix in there. You need 3/4 cup of flour, and I have it leveled off pretty good there. I love this cup that is actually just a 3/4 cup. Next thing that I want to put in are 2 eggs. I just have regular large eggs. I took them out a little bit beforehand so they get a little bit room temperature, but it really doesn't matter. I'm going to stir that up a little bit. The flour, the eggs, just to get a little preview of the stir. Because sometimes eggs can be hard to get that yolk mixed up. So I'll just do a little premix, and that spice cake is already smelling really good. All right, a 1/3 cup of oil. I just have some vegetable oil. And then what makes it really gingerbready is a 1/3 cup of molasses. I am using the same measuring cup that I used for the oil because my thought is if I pour the molasses in the same cup that the oil was in, that then when I go to pour it into my mixture, molasses is gonna come out easier since there was oil in there. Because sometimes molasses, if you've worked with it before, oh yeah, it comes out really easy. Sometimes molasses can be really sticky. Check it out. I hardly have any left in my cup because the oil was in there first. So that's nice. And then we need 2 teaspoons of ginger. And that's all the ingredients that you have to put in here. Of course, ginger is gonna get that gingerbread flavor. So two teaspoons. All right. And now the real mixing begins. So we can get everything going here. The molasses and the ginger are really gonna bring home those gingerbread flavors. And mix it around. So gingerbread normally is just a Christmassy kind of thing. So I decided I'm just gonna do it again because my family really enjoyed them. And they weren't as hard as most gingerbread cookies. They kind of, because of the cake mix, have a little bit of a softness to them, but there was still a crunch. So it was really good. And now that I have this all mixed up, let me show you what it looks like. And it smells so good. So here it is. You have to put it in the refrigerator for 30 minutes so it can kind of get colder. So when you start working with it and rolling it out, it's not so sticky. So 30 minutes in the fridge. Okay, so my dough is ready. It's been in the refrigerator for 30 minutes. Now what I do is I take a little bit of dough out and then I put the rest in the refrigerator so it stays cool. It doesn't get too sticky. Now, if you've never done cutouts before, it's messy, but you know, it's worth it if you enjoy making cookies. What I do is I'm just working on a small surface. I have my cutting board here. I'll show you. It's not very big. It's this big. And I just put a ton of flour on it because you don't want your dough to stick to it, because then when you do the cutting, it's the cutting out, it's hard to get it off the board and onto your pan. So use flour generously. I'm gonna roll it out. I'm gonna put flour on my rolling pin and I'm just gonna roll it out. And I have it pretty flat. And the cutouts that I'm using, because it's not Christmas, I have a Wisconsin one. I have an S, but okay, so it's hard to see it. But look how my S's didn't turn out. Yeah, look how it turned out. Would you say that's an S or a 5? Yeah, so I don't know. The S cookie cutter is not the greatest, but you can see, you know, they turn out kind of puffy, a little bit of puffy, but they're also, I don't know if you can see it, they're crispy on the ends. So it's like puffy in the middle, crispy on the ends. I also have X's and O's because those are great for Valentine's Day. So I'm kind of sticking with those. And what I do is that I push them on there and I wiggle it around a little bit. And then I put it on my pan. And you just kind of peel them off the board. And you get everything put on your pan like that, an ungreased pan. You can hear my timer went off. So I've got some coming out of the oven right now. These turned out really good. You can see I've got my Wisconsin one, turned out kind of cool, and I've got lots of X's and O's. So I'm sticking with those. I'm going to continue to roll these out. You keep putting flour down, keep cutting it, and like I said, when I'm cutting, I like to, you guys see this? I like to push it down and then I kind of wiggle it a little bit so it comes loose, and then it's easier to peel off of the board. So you have to have enough flour. You have to have enough flour and do a little wiggling, and you just keep doing this over and over until you use up all of your dough. And it's messy, but these are pretty yummy if you enjoy making cookies like this. So I will keep working away at this, and then I will show you some decorated ones. All right, let's get some decorations on here. All right, I'm just using regular cream cheese frosting. If you have your own recipe that you want, go for it. And I have a special frosting container here that I've just filled with the cream cheese. Of course, you want it to be soft frosting. You don't want hard. So this is some frosting I had before, but I had to take it out of the refrigerator to get it softened, and now it's working really good. So I have my little Wisconsin ornament here, or cookie. And now let's see, can I make a W out of Red Hots? because why not? When in Wisconsin, it's all about W, baby. Even though I'm also a Spartan fan, but I've been in Wisconsin for many years now, so I'm also a Badger fan. And we get it all decorated up. You don't want to do, well, I guess you can make it beautiful. There, check it out, my Wisconsin. And I also have Wisconsin with my X's and O's. So some fun things to do if you have X's and O decorations. But as I was doing this, okay, this smells so good in the house, and it's delicious. They're delicious too. Something I thought of. You cook them for 7 minutes at 375. You don't want to roll them out too thin because then they're hard to get off the pan or they get too crispy. When you take them out of the oven, take them pretty much right off the pan onto your cooling rack, because if you let them sit too long on the pan, then they get a little bit crunchy and it's hard to get them off of the pan and they'll break. So, easy gingerbread cookies with a spice cake mix, and they are soft yet still a little crunchy, because if I break this one, you can hear it break, but it's still actually soft. And so good.